Asante sana mwenzangu Kasichana Masha. Tuko katika kituo cha ambacho kitatumika na tume ya IEBC kumtangaza atakayeshinda, na hiki ni kituo cha Ol Kalou Secondary School. Kama ulivyosema ni kwamba shughuli zima ya uchaguzi ilianza hapo mwendo wa saa 12 asubuhi, na sasa ni dakika 40 tangu wakati ambapo shughuli hii ilikamilika, na sasa ambayo yataendelea ni uhesabu wa kura hizo. Kulingana na sheria, or according to the law, every result declared at the polling station is final. So what is happening here at the main tallying center is not just about the tallying of votes. What will happen here is a formal declaration of the winner that has won this Ol Kalou by-election. Largely, the results that emanate from the polling station are final, and that is what the law stipulates. There have been 9 candidates, like you said, 73,480 voters were expected to turn out, obviously, to cast their vote. But then again, according to the IEBC, we've spoken to Commissioner Nur Hassan and Anderito. They put the figure about 50.7% in terms of turnout, the people who turned out to vote. Several incidents, obviously, counter accusations between the political parties as well as the political players, but downtime, or rather, it comes down to this time here. It's crunch time for all candidates. The truth moment is here, because now the collation of those votes begins from across the 144 polling stations, and this is where now the numbers will speak the language that only the politicians can understand, whether you're the winner or the one who has lost in this by-election. But the bottom line is the people of Ol Kalou will have exercised their vote, or rather their right to vote, and elected their representative to the National Assembly for the next 1 year or so, the person who shall represent them in the National Assembly. So as it is, the exercise is closed. But you remember the IEBC had said that if you're in the queue by 5 p.m., obviously by the time this exercise is closing, you'll be allowed to vote. But then if you're outside the polling station, or rather the polling center, by 5 p.m., that means you're not in the queue, then you will not be allowed to vote. So anybody who was in the queue by 5 p.m. has been allowed to vote. But then you realize, Kasichana, as we were speaking earlier, the turnout looks like the voters took advantage of the morning, and that's why the turnout, really a big turnout, was recorded. Moving into the afternoon, there's been quite a slow moving of voters into polling stations, largely because the morning really dealt with the matter of the influx of voters who were coming in to vote. The exercise largely peaceful, even in the places where there were a little bit of hitches in terms of a Kim's kit identifying a voter. IEBC was able to resolve that very quickly, and then the resumption of the entire voting exercise. So that is how things are here. Any moment from now, you'll expect, obviously, poll officials, clerks, and returning officers, obviously, to start coming in here. You will see ballot boxes coming in here, and forms signed by all agents of the respective candidates and political parties. What is going to happen here is the formal declaration of the person who has won. But actually, again, we have engaged the IEBC commissioners on some of the results you see flying online, declaring self-winner. Through this, every party, every political party, every candidate is is free to collect their votes, for example, see what their agents are saying. But the final declaration of who has won is made by the IEBC when they present that person with the certificate. That is the winner certificate signed by the IEBC. That is to declare that person formally as the winner. So the exercise is closed. Now it's the tallying of votes. Some stations have started, others are yet to, but obviously that is underway. According to the IEBC, the hope is by midnight they will be able to declare a winner. That is by midnight. But then again, sometimes because of the rigors of this process, you would find that It could come earlier or it could come after, but their prospect is that by midnight they should be done with declaring the person who has won the Ol Kalou by-elections. 9 candidates, each one of them hoping to be the person who finally lay their hands on that white and green certificate that bears the colors of the IEBC, declaring them as the winner. Unfortunately, as is in any contest, there is only one of them that shall lay their hands on the certificate. The other 8 will have to contend with the fact that they have lost this election. So that's how things are at this point. I want to hand you back to Broadcasting House so that you cross over to give us a minor who's on the other side of Ol Kalou constituency, and probably to update us again on how the polling centers are faring on that side, because the exercise is closed across the entire constituency. Studio.
Sana JJ Kiori hapo tayari rusha uskani kwake Giverson Maina, lakini kwa sababu kama ulivyotuarifu ni kwamba makamishna wameweza kusema kwamba takriban 50.7% ya idadi kamili ya wapiga kura ndio waliweza kujitokeza, lakini nimearifiwa kwamba tutaweza kusikiliza kutoka kwa makamishna hao, pengine huenda wakawa wamepeana sababu kwa nini idadi hiyo haikuwa ile kamili, kwa nini watu hawakujitokeza kwa 100% au hata zaidi ya 50%. Lakini shukran sana JJ. Acha niruke kwako Giverson Maina. Pale ulipo Giverson, pengine usalama ukoje? Wakazi wanasema vipi? Je, baadhi ya wale wagombea hapo wanazungumziaje kuhusiana na zoezi zima? Je, limeendeshwa vipi kwa jumla?